Hi everybody, Catfish Jones here with a little bit of car talk. Hitting the road. Gonna head home for the evening. Probably get a bit of sunlight blasting me right in the face. What could be called bastard amber, if one were lighting a stage. But just a glorious sunset, magic hour kind of light. And it is bright in the Face, but it is also a very interesting schema for lighting a bit of car talk. And we'll get that driving into it in the morning. Or, I'm sorry, in the afternoon. I get it in the morning too, don't get me wrong. In the afternoon, driving towards, and then get it on the side of me. But it's not that bad of a detriment. It's just a thing. Hope everybody is well out there and safe on your many, many travels. Or safe if you're a hermit like me and just sticking around the homestead. Good to see everybody out doing their travels, following a little bit of the RTR, but not too much. Just the best I can do. And trying to catch what I can of Disney Dave and his camo ways. Okay, here we go. Here we go. Full blast. Woo! Woo, doggy. And the traffic is actually a little severe right now. I don't know what the story is there, but we got cars and trucks. No planes and trains, but boy, do we got automobiles out on the road today. I was doing my check-in, and I think this was actually the week I was supposed to do a cover to follow my pattern of every other week. And I did not put one together for last night. Woe is me. And honestly, this new schedule, man, look at that wiggle. Woo-wee. This new schedule is just kicking my tail. And that's not a bad thing. That's something that we do what we can do. It's good to test one's limits and know that you're getting the most out of life every single day. But it does mean that I'm going home a lot more tired, both mentally and physically. And it's a strange thing, working 13 years at one job and then switching over to another. You kind of go from a scenario of knowing practically everything in the building to knowing practically nothing. And so there's a lot of gear changing going on, no pun intended. The pun being that mostly I'm dealing with automotive parts, specifically semi-trucks. Lots of gears involved there, where before it was mostly vinyl records and music, fun stuff like that. But I think that the biggest part of that change is allowing me to kind of see music as fun again, instead of just another day at the office, instead of just seeing the work aspect of it, the negative aspect of it. Once again, finally able to get into putting my own record together. I know this time last year I was looking at issuing a newer version of an old record called Etchings, which some of you have gotten a chance to enjoy. And if not, check it out on Spotify or iTunes. Shameless self-plug right there. It's out there in the world. I went totally digital with that one. I didn't make physical CDs. Did get some physical download cards. But mostly that adventure was to test the waters into how one does an official publication without a record label, just kind of independently publishing, but still publishing it through, you know, the proper channels, BMI and whatnot, CD Baby, to be able to get it onto official channels like Spotify and iTunes and stuff like that. And so the rest of this year, since that was released, has been about focusing on this record, which is called Layers. And some of you have heard me talk a little bit about it. In fact, a couple of the songs in consideration for Layers have already been put out, although so far only one of those songs is guaranteed to make it. And so if you're looking for a little preview of Layers, you might find the song Sneakers somewhere on my YouTube channel, and give that a listen, because that is a lot of the layers old Catfish is looking at for this scenario. Sorry, I'm over here driving, so aviate, navigate, communicate in those proper ways. But Layers is mostly, I don't want to say done, because it's not done. There's a lot of listening work, a lot of adjustment as far as which songs go where. But I was looking at making a really long record, and I opted to cut it back for the sake of fitting it onto vinyl. And that doesn't mean that I'll be able to release it on vinyl the same day I release it on CD, at least as of right now, right? But one never knows what changes. The goal would be ultimately to release it on CD and to be able to send it out into the world and share it with everybody, and have a good return there to be able to help fund a potential LP release. But I would also like to release etchings, and some of the Bandcamp albums. An album called Old Songs is on my Bandcamp as well. And I think that Old Songs and etchings would go as an LP together, or maybe each of them would be a 10-inch, something like that. But the concept would then be that Layers could be a full-length LP. And it also leaves some songs left over, as usually happens, to go on the next record. And that's a very important part of the Catfish Jones model, is to continue to put out records as pieces, as works of art in themselves, with great songs that are great on their own, but also a full album that start to finish is a kind of a movement in itself, and kind of tells a story in itself, kind of stands together as a group that doesn't have too many outcasts in there. And while I'm wrapping this up, I tell you, my mind is already working on the next one, trying to figure out, well, what would that one be called? How would that one even work? What about these scraps here? Are these going to go there? Are they going to go individually on the Bandcamp? How's that going to work? And I really don't know. The fun part about beginning a project is the potential, and the difficult part of finishing a project is whittling that potential away until there is only the finished remains left. But that's a little bit of me conceptualizing here on this wonderful Car Talk. I hope you guys are having a fun evening. Look for me to catch up on the covers this coming Monday, because I'm pretty sure this Monday, yesterday, was supposed to be the Monday that I did another one. And I have a couple ready to perform, but I'm not sure which one I'm going to do next. And so I'll figure that out. I'll put one together. And hey, maybe I'm jumping the gun on being stressed out about not doing one. In which case, when I do it this coming Monday, it will be right on schedule. No matter what, when I do it this coming Monday, it will be right on schedule. Just not necessarily in the same precedent, perhaps. In the meantime, I'll keep thinking of songs that I can do, songs that I've performed in the past, or that speak to me, songs from my heart that are not mine, songs hopefully you guys could recognize and share with your friends. But do keep an eye out for Layers. When it officially drops, I will let everybody know. I might even publish another single before it actually drops, depending on how exactly that's going to work. We'll see. But in the meantime, for a little bit of preview of Layers, do check out the song Sneakers out there on the YouTubes. I think it's on Bandcamp, but I'm not 100% sure. But there is a great video, fun little put together. Do check it out. And in the meantime, be well, be awesome, be safe if you're driving. Again, aviate, navigate, and communicate in that order. You want to make sure that you're driving, and then you want to make sure you know where you're going, and then you can worry about communicating to everybody else. And until I see you guys again, I will just say cheers.